Welcome to Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush.
Recording in.
And welcome to Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. If this is your first time tuning in, I am actor Brandon Rush. I have been in 80 television shows and movies throughout my 16-year career. And my co-host is my mother, who is a pharmaceutical medical specialist. And April 9th of last year, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary. We launched the Buckle Up Podcast Universe, which is now in 80 countries in 938 cities around the world. So we are very excited about that as we continue to grow. We've done 145 episodes, actually might be 146 as of today. But we're excited because we have people that I've worked with throughout my 16-year career in the movie business, and many of my friends that work in all different avenues of not just the entertainment business, but outside of that. We've had FBI agents on here. We've had doctors on here. We've had lawyers. We've had casting directors. We've had producers, directors, writers, professors from my college, University of South Carolina, and other schools. I think I said with doctors already. We've had nurses of all different types, so from RNs to nurse practitioners. We have had CEOs of companies come on here. We've had tycoons come on the show as well. We've had one of my college roommates is a Cobra attack helicopter pilot in Marines. We've had Chad is also a helicopter pilot. I forgot what type of helicopter he flies, so I apologize, Chad. But he is a pilot in the Marines as well. I've had friends that worked in different branches of the military come on and speak as well, because one of the goals of this show is to be educational and help give back to help the next generation with different opportunities they can have, from scholarships from people we've had on that are both athletes and retired and current athletes that have gone on to college through sports. And then we've had people that have talked about different scholarships that are available for students to go to colleges, to even civil rights activists that we've had on here. I have the show as a melting pot. That's why we call it the Buckle Up Podcast Universe, because it's a place where people can come, they can tell their story, because a lot of times people go throughout life having done whatever avenue it is that they worked in and just leave it like that. No one ever knows the story or what they went through to get there. And I think by having guests share their story, it can give others the opportunity to learn from it, someone that they can reach out to for advice. And oftentimes, like, knowledge is power. And with that, you can become successful. So our hope and goal is to continue to spread awareness of the different opportunities that are out there for people that might be looking at different career paths, and to help the youth. But that being said, we're going to have Nigel King on here, who is a voiceover artist. I'm going to give you a quick bio about Nigel. From what he sent me, is a voiceover actor and content creator represented by VOX Inc. With over 2 million followers across platforms, wildly known for his viral impressions, animated collaborations, and appearances on ToastedShoes channels. Fans will recognize him from the popular modded video game series, where he voices cartoon characters alongside creators like Brock Baker, Sean Kelly, Benjamoose. Hopefully I said that right. And Toasted Shoes. From gaming and animation to live performances, including voicing characters in Steam game Watch Out for Goblins, appearing in major YouTube projects such as voicing Plankton in the upcoming SpongeBob movie 2 reanimated collab. Awesome. As well as hosting panels and appearances at conventions such as Smoky Mountain Fan Fest, Smoky Mountain Collectible Showcase, Smoky Mountain Anime Fest, and V2C2. Known for his spot-on impression from SpongeBob SquarePants, Family Guy, The Simpsons, and more. While we look forward to having him on here, I definitely can't wait to hear some of these impressions. So he'll be here in just a second. Let me just pause this.
That's right.
Nigel, great to first off, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and
Mama Rush.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Of course, man. Someone from Voicelings got me in touch with you, and I was like, hey, I'd love to have him on. I was looking at your bio. That's absolutely amazing what you've been doing, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been working hard at it. The social media game is it's definitely on its peak right now. So, like, you gotta cash in on it while you can, for sure.
Oh, I know that's right, man. That's absolutely right. Well, look, brother, it's all about you today, man. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Tennessee, a little town, Greenville, Tennessee, kind of near Bristol kind of area,
Okay.
somewhat, about an hour from there. Um, Birthplace of Andrew Johnson. He was president of the United States at one point.
Absolutely, man. And so, how did you end up going? And then tell me, actually, I'm gonna get your background too. So, you're from Tennessee. How does a guy from Tennessee? Did you go to college in Tennessee?
I started to go to college, actually. We had a thing called Tennessee Promise, which promised a bunch of students a few free years of college,
Oh
basically.
wow.
Then the I guess they went over funding and they just started dropping people. So like I happened to be on the cutting room floor there,
Oh
and I
man.
just decided to not go. So I ended up not going and just making this my full-time kind of angle to go for. I worked a regular job for a few years, of course, here and there, but I was determined to make this, my goal. Social media and then voice acting kind of came alongside it at some point.
Okay, so like, what was that jump like, man, for you deciding? Because I think a lot of times people are afraid to go after their goals, and as you said, you were working a regular job. What was it in you that's like, you know what, man, I can do more than this. I'm not doing what my calling is per se. What made you decide to make that jump?
Well, I've always been really interested in like YouTube
Yeah.
and pop culture in general. I love pop culture stuff. I love cartoons. I love video games and movies and TV shows and the ins and outs of the acting world and all that. So I've always had a keen eye on that stuff. But just working a regular job, like I can do it, but it's when it gets down to like, little things like you being mistreated or like
Yeah.
things like that for the pay that's you're getting paid or like for the compensation that you're getting. It kind of comes down on you, and it just got to a point where I was like, man, I got to do something because I'm not happy right now. And
Yeah.
that's really what the driving force was trying to make myself become happy and do something that I always wanted to do, really.
Okay. Well, man, first off, I'm glad you decided to make that jump and going with your gut of just being like, you know what, this isn't making me happy or feeding my soul, and they're mistreating you on
Right.
top of that.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I worked a job doing the pandemic, man. I've worked all kinds of jobs, but it's awful when when you're getting mistreated and
Yeah.
you're trying to go about doing what you want to do and just trying to get your work done, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
But how did you end up making this jump then into the voiceover world and like I guess YouTube and social media?
So I always had a YouTube channel growing up doing like meme videos. I would just, memes to songs and stuff, classic YouTube type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just started one day we were playing video games, me and a couple buddies, and I did a voice that sounded kind of like Plankton from SpongeBob.
Okay.
And it happened to make like the whole other team laugh and everything. And I was like, okay, I should maybe keep trying this and maybe do something with that. That was like a really funny moment.
Yeah.
So I posted the clip from my buddy's stream and it got like 1,000 views or something like for a first video on a new channel. That's really good. So I just kept trying and kept practicing, and then voice acting kind of became the main focus with social media kind of being the afterthought that kind of they just play together more or less. And then voice acting just took over from there.
Okay.
Hardcore.
What was your first gig that you remember?
My first gig per se was my first big gig was a video game that these buddies of mine are making called Watch Out for Goblins. It's on Steam. I got to do some like goblin sounds for it. It wasn't anything crazy, but then from that I got into a couple like YouTube videos, from people that I watched, like my buddy Goo Brain, a lot of people that I'm friends with now.
Yeah.
My buddy ToastedShoes, he has a channel where he'll mod video games, and he'll mod like SpongeBob into a video game, and then we'll play that and I'll just pretend to be SpongeBob the whole time. So things like that.
Yeah, dude, that's freaking awesome. I know my nephew's gonna absolutely love you because he watches a lot of he likes mods, he likes video games, he loves people to do the voices. So you're gonna even your setup that you have
Perfect.
right now is the setup that
Yeah.
my nephew wants. He's
Oh
12,
yeah,
so
yeah. That's awesome.
I know he's gonna appreciate this.
Nice,
Uh
nice.
when it comes to you, how do you become a character using only your voice? How do you go about that step?
Really, so like I've discovered, I'm officially now I'm part of VOX. I'm represented by VOX, which they're a big, agency company who gets you auditions and stuff. And I found out that a lot of auditions they don't come with a visual reference. So
Okay.
like visual reference is pretty big when coming up with a voice, of course, but like when you don't have that, you kind of got to go off of what the descriptions are. And sometimes the descriptions are wild, like
Yeah,
an eccentric young man. It's like eccentric could mean a lot of things at the same
absolutely.
time, So it's hard, but like overall, I think I just go with like I think of characters that resemble that exist already, and then I kind
Yeah.
of try to take that and morph it a little bit into my own thing, like um a lot of voices I find I'm doing when I do lower pitches. I take a lot of inspiration from people like Wes Johnson who does he does the characters from Skyrim, like Oblivion and
Love
Skyrim. He
those
does a lot of the
games.
guards and stuff and in those games, like guards, like
Yeah.
that deep guttural kind of scream. And I take a lot of inspiration from him for my lower voices and like, things like that. Just taking inspiration from existing things and then making them into a new thing that aren't, just copying people or, whatever.
Making it your own.
Yeah, yeah.
Abs- Absolutely. Sorry, Mom, were you about to say something?
No, that's not. Yeah, I was going to ask him another question, but I wanted him to finish his statement. Hi there, Nigel. Mama Rush here.
Nice to
What would
meet you.
Nice meeting you as well. What would you think would surprise people the most about the voiceover industry
Hmm.
and behind the scenes with that? Brandon's always in front of the camera, but can you give us expounds on that answer a
So,
little bit?
with the voice acting, it's I don't know, it's kind of up in the air with that. It's like you could hire a lot of people. I've seen a lot of roles that are just open to anybody. Like
Mm-hmm,
anybody can audition for them. They're not very strict on who auditions for certain roles sometimes.
mm-hmm,
That's one thing that surprised me quite a lot because I would figure, they were going for like a specific style in a lot of
mm-hmm,
established, things, but yeah, that surprised me. Just really the ins and outs. Meeting a lot of the people who you grew up watching has been a big
Yeah.
thing for me, big shock
mm-hmm,
for me, learning how they do things like that. Tom Kenny's a good example of that. I learned that he didn't get his first voiceover job until he was like 31.
Holy
And
smokes.
yeah, and so for me, that was like a big like eye opener for me to like not be so hard on myself
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
because some of the people that I grew up watching didn't even get their first role till, later on. So
Well,
I think that was a big eye opener for sure too.
Absolutely.
okay.
That's definitely. I'm glad you said that for the audience. I'm on the. I guess I'm in front of the camera a lot because I act and working with a lot of my heroes. I've been blessed to work with a lot of people in this business and seeing how they. A lot of them had started later. A lot of them didn't have that
Hmm.
break in the beginning or early. And then it's interesting. A lot of those people that were working early aren't working now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You
they
see a lot of
weren't
that
able to
too.
make that. Yeah, it's I know it can be frustrating for sure, and you're like, hey man, when is this going to happen? I still get frustrated, obviously. I think
Yeah.
everybody does. That's just human nature. But sticking with it until your time comes and believing in your work and what you're able to do, which clearly you've done. I mean, congratulations on being signed by Vox, and
Thank you.
congratulations for them having you too. So
Appreciate that. Yeah.
that goes both ways. What was that like? I guess how have things changed for you now with being with an agency like that, or with finding work so per se?
So like without an agency, I was like it was to the point where this kind of ties into what I was saying before, like feeling like you're not going to get where you want to be with a thing because it's taking so long, or like maybe you see other people getting there faster.
Yeah,
It kind of ties into that, like it's all boiling down to how often you're finding things to audition for, really.
yeah,
So like I'm getting a good consistent stream of auditions by email now that I have them. as opposed to before when I would email. I would go out of my way to email companies, games, video games that I seen that were coming out,
Mhm.
just like offer up anything I could throw at them. Like, hey, I would love to be a part of this.
Yeah.
If you have any sort of openings, yada yada, I would love to help out. Here's my information, you know, reach out, feel free to reach out. And it just always seemed like dead ends, so like now
Yeah.
it feels nice to have that support and have that guaranteed kind of you know outlet into it.
Absolutely. But Nigel, I want to say I respect that grind because I have to still do that.
Yeah,
Where you were saying where you have to reach out to those people and be seen. It's such a blessing to have an agency, but you still have to do your part, which is what you have been
absolutely. Yeah,
doing
yeah.
and doing on your end, because that's a grind that not many people that maybe aren't necessarily in the business don't realize the fact that you have to,
Mhm.
before an agency ever takes you on, you got to put in a lot of
Oh yeah.
groundwork. And it seems like I love that you didn't get deterred and continue to
Mhm.
do that. And eventually, as I said, I believe the cream always rises to the top, and
Yes,
your hard work is puts you exactly where you're meant to be.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I
yeah,
can
and
hear that voice. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
I'm
was gonna
listening.
say, like, I was just gonna say that it really I lost my train of thought already.
It's all
All right.
You
That's
got me
good.
all flustered. You
oh
guys
no, you're
got
Oh,
me
good.
all flustered.
no, no.
If you get it back, Nigel, you can jump in it at any point, man.
Well, that's
Absolutely,
right. Well, what
absolutely.
I'd like to ask you, what is the hardest type of voiceover work and why is it?
The hardest is definitely, I feel like probably anime type stuff. A lot of
Yeah.
anime, I've heard so many conflicting things, if I can be straightforward about that.
Yeah, go
Like,
ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot of conflicting things from directly from anime voice actors and from people who do voice acting in other fields. Some people say don't do it. Some people say it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I've seen firsthand that it helps a lot of people. Some of these anime voice actors have the longest lines at conventions that I've seen out of anybody.
Yeah.
It's wild. And so anime is always a field where it's like you can't really tell if they want you to go full anime or if they want you to be kind of more normal toned about everything. So like, anime can be, from that to a very much more standard kind of voice. I think anime
Absolutely.
is the most confusing, most challenging to go at an angle for.
Okay. Nigel, what's your favorite, like out of all of them, what is your favorite or what would you like to do the most? I mean, it could even be everything, but is there one particular version? Excuse me. If you could do one thing, what do you think it would be? Or do you have a preference or you can break it
Hmm.
down however you want to?
My ultimate goal with like voice
Yeah,
acting
let's hear it.
would be to land something in Family Guy
Oh,
or
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob or South Park or any of these like adult animation shows that I like or any of the ones that I grew up with, even like I said, SpongeBob. But like, yeah, I've got buddies who have been on shows like my buddy Brock Baker. He did the voice of Winnie the Pooh on South Park for a couple
Oh, wow.
episodes. Things like that. A lot of people that I follow have gotten to do work on Family Guy, like impressions, because they do a lot of, parody stuff, so they need impressions quite a bit. Things like that. I think Family Guy's a big comfort show for me. I love Family Guy,
It is
so
good.
it's definitely a big pull. If I could land Family Guy, I think I'd be happy. But like, yeah, ultimately I would love a recurring thing for sure, like something where I could have something
That's
stable.
Absolutely. I've
right.
actually worked with the creator of that whose name Seth
Seth
no,
MacFarlane.
yeah,
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane. I worked with him on his TV show, the not Family Guy, but the space TV show he had, which the name is
Oh, the
slipping me right now.
Orville.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I used to see
yes.
him all the time, and
That's awesome.
so yeah, the cool thing about it was he's such a quiet guy,
Oh
which
yeah.
I wouldn't it surprised me, but he does all these amazing voices on Family Guy, and then when he's acting, he's such a smart director too, because he direct and act at the same time, do both.
Yeah.
So I worked
Yeah.
with him on that end. Honestly, I think you'd be great at it. Especially, is there a particular
Mm-hmm.
voice in Family Guy that you like, or is it just a random character came up?
I do a lot of impressions of his characters. Like that's what I got known for from doing voices. Like I do Peter Griffin. I could do a lot of Peter Griffin.
Oh, I could do go into a little bit of Stewie Griffin.
Yes, hello, how are you?
Oh,
And then I started learning Lois over time. Like, oh my God, Peter. And it started really bad, but then it got a lot better over
These are
time.
awesome, man.
Thank
so
you. I appreciate it.
I mean, we're impressed. What I want to ask you, you mentioned something just a minute ago about conventions. What are those
Mhm.
conventions about?
So conventions are like Comic Cons, things like that, where a lot of celebrities, will have a lot of celebrities come to a small town and go to a convention center, and they'll have people, you can come visit them and get autographs and meet some of your biggest, inspirations and stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
really fun. I've been lucky to know a couple dudes who run a few of the conventions around my area, and I've gotten to go to their conventions every year for the past few years, and it's helped me network quite a bit, being
Mm-hmm.
able to do that and talk to and meet other, big celebrities and stuff, and introduce myself and all that stuff. I made a lot of cool mutual friends doing that. I've got
Mm-hmm.
to host a couple panels. I got to host
Mm-hmm.
Roger Bumpus, the voice of Squidward from
Okay.
SpongeBob. Got to host that. That was wild. We did a squid off. I did my Squidward impression for him, and we were
Oh,
like
heck yeah.
insulting each other on stage and stuff. I mean, it was great. Yeah, just things that I never would believe if I told my younger self.
Yeah. Dude, I'm proud of you, man. I
Yeah.
truly am. And your impressions are spot on too.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah.
By the way, can I ask you, you ever do SpongeBob?
Oh, well, of course I can do SpongeBob.
Oh my. Yeah, let me hear. Wait just for a moment. Say it. Do a little bit more. Let me hear.
Well, I love working at the Krusty Krab with my old pal Squidward.
I'm not your buddy, SpongeBob.
These are
This is
awesome, man.
fascinating.
Thank
This
you.
is
Appreciate
fascinating.
it.
When you were a
Absolutely.
little boy, I just want to ask this question. When you were a little boy, did your parents spot something in you? Did you go around? Tell us about that childhood experience as far as voices, if you
So
started at the time.
as far as voices, I didn't really get into much voices like until later on, really. So like that was not something, but I always did have an affinity for like art
Mm-hmm,
and computer stuff. So that's what I was
mm-hmm,
originally going to school for. Um, so I always had a big interest in computers and things like that. So I'd always get praised for my knowledge on computers, and um, with reality TV, like with reality TV shows, I knew a lot of the ins and outs before I should have, so I would be
Yeah.
ruining the illusion a lot for people at a young age.
Uh,
But yeah, that's about, yeah. The voice acting came kind of when the social media started, like hand in hand for the most part.
mm-hmm.
Okay, Nigel, I had to make you laugh. Well, it's not necessarily funny, but you said when you kind of ruined the behind the scene things you were kind of saying, like this is how
Yeah,
things are working. I got in trouble in the first grade. I went to Catholic school. I got in trouble for telling everybody there was no Santa Claus. I was getting made fun of.
yeah.
I was getting made fun of. They were saying that, oh, Santa Claus is real. Santa Claus is real. And I was like, dude, Santa Claus isn't real. One, we didn't have a chimney in our house. And two, my parents always said, their gifts always said from my parents because they worked hard.
Right,
So
yeah.
I ended up getting yelled at by my teacher. And some parents called my mom about it. But I'm like, in the end, I was telling the truth.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
So,
I
I
love
um,
that reminds me, I used to take piano lessons when I was younger, and I was always told Santa was real, of course, and I milked that for as long as I could, of course. But I remember asking my piano teacher one day, because I remember catching my presents behind the bed one day, or something, like seeing my presents that they said were
yeah.
from Santa one year. And I remember asking my piano teacher, like, is Santa real? Because like I think it's just like, and she kind of like spilled the beans to me, like, like, yeah, I think you're right on that.
Good for you. I feel like how are you going to start off as a parent? How are you going to start off teaching your kids a lie to start their life
Yeah,
off?
yeah.
So that's just me, but I know every parent's different. It is what it
Yeah,
is. But they feel betrayed when they find out.
of course, yeah, for
So
sure.
hey, let me see here. I have a question to ask
Well,
you.
I
Oh, go ahead,
I
Mom.
can answer. When did you have to take a risk on yourself before anyone else believed you?
Definitely when I started all this social media stuff, it was complicated. Like out of high school, I've lived with my grandparents my whole life, and
Uh-huh.
my papa's a Vietnam veteran,
Oh,
and
wow.
they're just old school, so like
Yeah.
they had a very old school mindset about a lot of things, and they would always be down my back about getting like a job, like a factory job. We live in a factory town, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's worked a factory job his whole life, so like nothing that I did quite met up to their expectations, you know. So
Yeah.
I think it really took me doing this and like getting to the point where like recently I got to go on the Kelly Clarkson show
Oh
back
wow!
in
Congratulations.
December over the yes, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
They saw my SpongeBob impressions and they were doing a SpongeBob movie press tour and I
Mm-hmm.
got to go on and do my voices for them. And
Mm-hmm.
I think when they seen me on the show, they finally were like realizing like, okay, he's doing something, you know?
Yeah.
So for them seeing me on TV, I think was the big, you know, like, hey,
Yeah.
this is something, you know, like I'm not just wasting my time, you know.
Okay.
Absolutely, and that's a
So
big deal too, man, for you to be called up there. I mean, and
thank
I
you.
hope from that, I'm sure it did, but that should have brought more opportunities if it didn't. But proving the fact that if they saw you and thought you were that great, it just all it takes is that one person to realize, hey, this person has it,
Yeah.
and they've always had
Appreciate
it.
it.
But I'm glad that you're getting those opportunities that you deserve.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Question for you: what keeps you going when things aren't quite, or when things are quiet or uncertain?
Definitely listening to interviews of people that inspire me helps a lot. Like
Yeah.
old interviews. It doesn't have to be like, you know, recent or like anything, you know, a big recent inspiration to me are the two guys who made Nirvana the band. They're a comedy
Okay.
group and they had a web show back in the day and then they got a TV show from Vice for a few seasons, and then recently they just had a movie, which was they were all very spaced out, but
Okay.
everything they have ever done, very low budget, very indie. They would film on the streets and like not tell people and like kind of like work with like their natural reactions into like their layout of what they had, you know.
Yeah.
They'd go into a restaurant and start a scripted like scene where they would like slowly get mad at each other, and then you would
Yeah.
find out like people would their real react, you know, things like that. Just like tell it like listening to interviews of them telling you like, you know, you don't need $1 million camera, you don't need
Yeah.
all this stuff, and then seeing the success that they've gotten over the years and trying and you know doing all that, that helps me I think more than anything is listening to people who are also in my position at one point
Mhm.
trying to make something that they really were passionate about and then succeeding at it, even if it wasn't right when they started, you know. It took
Yeah.
them a very long time and now they've got a movie 20 some years later. It's wild. So
Absolutely. And you sound like you have it sounds like you could be a singer because it sounds like you have like a country singing voice almost.
country, I'm in Tennessee, so yeah. That twang comes out
I'm
of
about
me
to say,
sometimes.
man. Yeah. Let's see here. Have you done any work in commercials, or what have you done work in? If you don't mind breaking it down for us.
Nothing super big yet.
That's okay, but it
Like
will
I
happen.
just got signed on with Vox recently through Voicelings, which I'm very grateful for. And if you are a voice actor, highly recommend working with Voicelings. Absolutely. They have done nothing but help me tremendously. So
Amazing.
high regards there. But
And that's like voicing's like a training school a little bit
yeah,
or
so
something.
it's Tara Strong's voice acting class school kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of modules you can learn, like the ins and outs of voice acting and the basics of it. And then they have classes every so often, and then they'll have guests come on that were big voice actors, and you get to listen in and ask them questions. And there's all sorts of cool stuff that they do and they've helped me directly, like tremendously, more than anybody, easily, like more than anyone at all.
I want to make sure to give them a shout out because they're the ones that got me
Yeah.
in touch with you. So I'm glad you broke it down for us.
Yeah, they've helped me out tremendously, and I can't thank them enough for that. But yeah.
Well, I want to tell you or ask you something, but make a statement here too. But
Mhm.
Brandon can actually do this because we have such a huge audience, especially in that group of
Mhm.
young people. And Brandon, where are we now? Are we
We have
pretty much?
I think we're actually at we have 19 million viewers and listeners in
Wow.
80 countries and 938 cities around the world.
Nice.
So we
Very,
really
very
have that.
good.
Yeah,
The
that's right.
trajectory looks good.
Uh,
But with that stated, a lot of beginners, we have those children and kids that are going to college and everything. What's the biggest mistake beginners make when trying to break into voiceover, you think?
mm, Putting yourself out there before you're ready. I see a
Mm.
lot of like, and not to like downplay anybody, but like I see a lot of people on Twitter using like Dollar Tree microphones and stuff like that. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Mm.
you can get stuff done with that,
Mhm.
absolutely. But if you're trying to get yourself out there, definitely invest. It's at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's a big investment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like yeah, like it's I got an audition the other day that was like, you cannot do this unless you have a Source Connect Pro account, and then
Oh,
Mm.
and
wow.
that's like $100 something a month.
Okay.
It's like,
Oh, wow.
realistically, most people won't afford that. So
Yeah.
like it's something that's like an investment. Like if I did happen to get that role, I would have to scrounge up $100 to to toss towards it because it would be an investment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a big investment. So I think investing is like the big mistake people don't do. They try to
Okay.
make it work with everything, and like that does work, like I said, with the make not worrying about having $1 million camera. It's kind of ties into it, but like you do need to let it work. With voice acting is pretty
Okay.
imperative on the quality that comes out of it usually. So I think investing is the right way to go, because
Okay.
I was in a bad spot when I invested into myself to start voice acting, and it
Yeah.
kind
Mhm.
of put me behind a little bit, if I'm not going to lie. But it paid off because I really worked hard and I really, kept at it. So I think just invest. As long as you're going to work hard at it, it'll pay off, because I think everybody
Okay.
has that skill in them to do
Yeah.
it. You just got to find what you can do and what you're comfortable
Certainly.
doing.
Certainly.
Absolutely. Nigel, I had to, it's everything you said was correct. And then I had to make it it made me laugh to myself because
Mhm.
when I started off in acting, I thought I could jump right into doing showcases, which is like basically, if you don't know what showcases are, which you might, for the audience that probably doesn't know, it's places where you have the opportunity to perform for casting associates and casting directors, perform
Yes.
scenes. I was green as green could be, and I made the mistake of going to the showcase. And at the time, it was a lot of working actors that are in Hollywood right now. And I went up and I performed the scene, not really knowing what I was doing. And she bashed me so bad in front of everybody. Like
Yeah.
I had never been so embarrassed in my life. And she helped me out in the process, but I had never
Yeah.
been bad. And she told me I was terrible.
Yeah.
Like everything that she said was absolutely right. And I remember about 4 years later, I was going into an audition at Paramount, I think it was, or actually Warner Brothers Studios. And as
Okay.
I'm walking, I'm already psyched up, ready for the audition, and I see her, bro. I see her heading into the place where I want to be auditioning at. I was instantly like, "Oh God!" I was like freaking out on the inside because it just reminded me of being embarrassed that time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I ended up doing well at the audition, and she's like, "Wow, you're absolutely excellent." And so I earned her respect.
Good.
But before I had gone in there, like the mistakes people make, like, hey, you can't just jump in a thing. You can't jump into the
Mhm.
deep end and not know
Right.
how to swim because you will
Exactly.
drown.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah, that
that
was a perfect way to put what I was trying to say a little better.
no, you were
Oh,
good.
that's quite all
Better
right.
than
That's
I
quite all
had it.
right.
No,
Yeah.
no, you were good. I just had to
Oh,
share
this
my
is
story because I was like, man,
excellent.
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When things,
Absolutely.
yeah, well, for instance, now, when things get quiet in your career, what
Mhm.
keeps you grounded and moving forward?
Definitely my buddies, my friends, all my friends that I have, because
Mhm.
I hang out with them all day online. We have Discord and we just hang out and we'll play games and make videos and work all day together. It helps keep me motivated when I'm not doing what I need to do. It helps me to have people there to be like, just do it, dude.
Yeah,
And that's all I need to give me that push to get it done, is just to have somebody telling me, just get it done,
Oh,
man.
that's
absolutely. Let's see here. Uh, I think I want to make sure I asked some of the right questions. I want to make sure to ask it. I think we asked, what's your process when you get a script? When you get a script, yeah, how does that work? So when you get a script, let's say an audition comes in, how do you go about breaking that down? What's your
Mm.
process?
Well, definitely the character bio, so I can kind of get an idea of what character to do, to kind of like get that voice idea. And then I'll have to read through the script once or twice, usually before I get it right. And sometimes I'll read through it several times and think I have
Yeah.
it down. And then I'll be reading it, and then I'm like, then it'll hit me, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is how they want this read. And then I'll have to go back and, redo a part or something. But it's a lot of it's just rereading and like trying to figure out like where you are in like how this character would be, like kind of like how, if you were Seth MacFarlane and you were Peter Griffin, and the cast comes to you with a bad joke, and you're like, I think Peter would say it this way. It's kind of like that. Like you adopt and adapt a certain idea of a character in your head, and you kind of make your own guidelines for that character in a way. A lot of people talk about taking risks, when they get a crazy character. Like some people, they don't know, like it doesn't ask for it, but sometimes you want to give it like a kind of goblin-y kind of rasp to it, and like
Yeah.
you don't know if that's what you should do, but sometimes it's for the better, and I've done that a couple times too. Just depends on really the character description that you get overall. Reading I feel like it all falls into place once that character idea gets into your head.
Yeah. Well, Nigel, I don't want anyone that listens to this to take my advice on it, but Nigel, I'm one of those people, and it sounds like you have been too, where if let's say they call 10 people in for a role, I have a feeling that 9 people are going to do it this way. I'm almost positive. I'm going to take that risk, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that swing, like you said,
Exactly,
adding a little bit of rasp in it. I actually do that with most of my auditions. And I was recently in London performing, and a cast director saw me perform, and they asked me, "Why did you do it that? What made you decide to do it like that way? You added a whole." And I told her straight up, and I actually earned her respect and the class respect. I said, 9 people out of 10 are going to come in and do it just like it is on paper. I'm going to be that 10th person I'd rather lose the role and show you what I can do than to be like the other one, because you'll be remembered that way. And they might be like, hey, you know what? Nigel might not be right for this, or he took that chance. I know he can do this later.
Right.
So I think that's great that you have that boldness to you to try it that different way. Maybe not all the time, but you do it their way, and then you're like, let me take the swing at it.
Yeah. I definitely play it a little safe just because I just got my foot in the door, but
as you should.
But yeah, definitely take your shots for sure. Like don't completely rule it out. Definitely it helps more often than not, from what I've heard and
No, you're right.
talked to other people about. Yeah.
As I said, it's worked out for me. It hasn't worked every time, but it seems more times than not it's worked out. So that's what I say. Everybody, swing at your own risk. It's however you want to take it.
Yeah.
And your interpretation of it. Well, Nigel, I'm going to hit you with the lightning round, man. You've been phenomenal. Actually, I do want to make sure I ask one thing of you, though. You said you were raised by your grandparents, which I think is an absolute blessing. Do you want to kind of say how they've been impactful to you?
They've been great. Hard at times, but tough love is sometimes what you need to get, where you need to be in life. And I definitely needed that at times, where I needed to just have that to say, hey, you need to get this done, or hey, you need to do this, or hey, you need to do that, and having them around, they're unconditional. They love me. They're not going to let me go without. They care about me. I'm lucky, I'm blessed to have a good family and around me. So they've been tremendous overall. Yeah, really
amazing. Sorry, Nigel, I heard everything you said. My camera, here it is, my camera's back. Sorry, I got clicked off there by accident. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because Nigel, you have a really good foundation about you. And I think that when a person has a great foundation like you have, you've been able to navigate your way through the world. Your grandparents are giving you the best that they could, or tried their best. And I think that they should be proud of you. And they probably are, whether they say it or not, of the man that you've become. So I'm definitely happy for you, and that you had them as an influence in your lifetime. And then even I gotta admit, man, my granddad and grandma at first weren't gung ho about me becoming an actor, but my mom and my dad believed in me.
Yeah.
But when my grandfather was about to, in the years of him leading up to passing, he was always asking for my aunt to put me on TV because I've been in so many shows. So he would
Yeah.
he would watch every single thing that I was
That's
in.
awesome.
So
Things like that really mean a lot to people like you and me who are in it and
yeah,
trying to do it. Like it means a lot when people we know are making an effort to keep up with what we're doing, you know?
absolutely. The support, man. You're
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
right. You're definitely right. So here's a lightning round. It's it could be one offs or how as quick as it can be either as quick as you want to answer or as long as you want to answer.
Okay.
Dream voiceover job.
Family Guy, SpongeBob, South Park, any of those that were like my growing up ultimate shows, if I could get on them at all would be big. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. One word to describe your voice.
Without tooting my own horn, dynamic. I'll
Okay.
say dynamic.
I like that. I like that. Favorite character voice you've ever done?
Original or like just impressions wise?
You can do both, man. If you want, you can answer
Hmm.
both.
Impressions, impressions, probably Plankton because
Okay.
that was my first, you know.
Gotta get the formula. The Krusty Krab secret formula.
Definitely Plankton.
Yeah.
Original voices I've not gotten to do enough. So like I
Okay.
can't really particularly say. I did an audition recently where I kind of did like a Peter Lorre kind of like, yes, how are you doing?
It's kind of like Dexter too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. I don't make sure if I answer this one. Most unexpected job you booked.
I got to do a Hulu Futurama ad where I
Heck yeah.
got to do like my Futurama impressions and stuff. And that's probably the biggest one that I was like, man, I never thought I'd get to do an ad for like a show I grew up watching, you know, like that's insane to me. I still don't fully process that, but you know.
Now, who from Futurama? I have to ask.
I can do an okay Bender, like, you know,
Bite my shiny mouth. Well, you know.
Yeah. I love Futurama. Nice, man. Nice. Commercials or cartoons?
Cartoons for sure for me, like definitely cartoons.
Okay.
I'm an animated kind of guy, but I can definitely do a commercial voice. I love doing commercial voices, like so a lot of the ones I grew up with, you know, zoo books, you know, how your child can visit steamy jungles, grassy plains, and the dark depths of the oceans. You know.
Yeah.
Disney would love. Can I interrupt one?
Yes, ma'am.
Or ask one? Have you ever done anything for Disney?
The Hulu Futurama thing's the closest thing, but I did get a
Okay.
couple of Disney auditions recently. So like that's I'm hopefully soon. Yeah.
That's
there, man.
great.
I
That's
believe
great. Keep it up. Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Man. Studio or home setup?
I have a home studio, but if I had access like close by, like I can drive to New York or not New York, Nashville if I need to, or travel if I need to do like New York or California.
Yeah.
But like I have a perfectly good studio here that I can use. So like if I can use it, I prefer to be there. I'm in
Nice.
my own space.
Yeah, absolutely. Coffee or tea before recording?
Coffee loosens up my throat. Warm coffee for sure helps.
Okay. And then your go-to vocal warm-up.
Definitely trying to like see how low I can go. It just depends on what I'm about to do as well. Like if I'm about to try to do a lower voice, I try to do other low voices that I'm used to doing. Like,
Well, it kind of go low for Hank Hill kind of down here. And, you know, kind of
go a little lower, like trying to think of some other like
Homer's a good example. I love to have donuts with my wife Marge.
Talented, brother, talented. Hey, let's see here. Voice crack moment, yes or no?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of those. Just because when you're doing impressions, like that's what I'm known for. So people ask me to do a lot of impressions. So I'm switching up like on the fly. So like a lot of times if I go from a low to a high, it'll mess up really bad. But
Okay.
Lois is one for sure that gets a lot of voice cracks in there. It's hard to get her high pitchedness in.
Yeah. I mean, that's still impressive that you're able to do a female's voice like that in the first place.
The
That's a
only girl voice that I really know how to do, so I'm
okay.
confident with it, I think.
Heck yeah. One celebrity voice you can imitate.
One I'm confident with and that just comes to mind off the top of my head is Seth Rogen. Like Seth Rogen's a good fun one to do. Like,
Yeah, we just worked on Sausage Party, and yeah,
Nice.
seeing how many of my friends we can get in.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I worked with Seth before. He's a good dude too.
nice, nice.
Let's see here. Hardest accent to pull off. Ooh.
Accent wise, hardest to pull off is probably. I was just doing one last night and I kept slipping into like an Irish accent. I forget what accent it was though. Like it was something from a movie we were just watching. I can't remember. For my hardest ones, it's hard to remember.
But it was like United Kingdom, that kind of like some country over there.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like I want to say it was like a kind of like a Spanish kind of accent, but
Yeah.
like I can't remember exactly where it was from. I was imitating somebody off of a movie we had watched, and it's like I kept slipping into Irish, and I was like, that's not that.
Absolutely. I did a pirate that kept sounding Scottish. This girl from Scotland
Yeah,
knows me. She's like, "Why does your pirate keep slipping into a Scot?" I'm like, "Look, I'm trying to
yeah,
be a pirate."
it's easy. It's
Uh,
easy.
are you a Mick on or Mike on or Mike off personality? I think Mike on or Mike off personality.
Mic on, I guess. I'm always turned on personality wise, like to where I'm going, because like I like to be fun usually,
Yeah.
That's just how I am. I like to be goofy and stuff.
Hey, we like it. We like it. Early morning session or late night session?
Hmm. That's another one. It depends on my voice. Like sometimes I wake up and my voice is really good at going like low. But other times I wake up and it's not so good, and then that lowness will come later in the day.
Okay.
So I think later in the day more than anything, for
Yeah.
sure. Lets me wake up and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite animated film of all time?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Favorite animated film of all time. Man, that is a tough one.
It is for sure.
Probably. Uh, so that's such a tough question. I love animation so much.
You could
Like,
do numerous ones if you want. If you want to do your top five, that'll work too, or top three.
I could probably do a top five,
Yeah,
maybe.
that'll
Like,
help you out. Yeah.
okay, we'll go with I love My Neighbor Totoro. That's a good one. Um, Perfect Blue. It's a good one. Hmm. Gotta go with probably the SpongeBob movie just because. Let's see, we got two more. So I'm trying to think some hot ones off the top of my mind right now. Princess Mononoke's a good one.
Okay.
Uh, got one more. I'm trying to really
Go
dig deep into my
Disney. What
mind.
do you got Disney wise?
Disney wise? Oh, Disney. My favorite Disney movie, probably animated, gotta be Aladdin.
Heck yeah.
I think
Nice.
That's good.
Aladdin's a big one for me.
Absolutely. I
Robin
love Robin Williams. Man,
yeah.
best. Absolute best. We're almost done. One word of advice you would have for beginners?
Put yourself out there as much as you can. Use social media right now. You got a bunch of old people telling you it's not the way to go, but it definitely is. You just gotta keep putting yourself out there and don't give up when people tell you no. And don't keep trying at something that if you've tried it for years and years and you're still not doing it, don't keep doing it. Just figure out what you're capable of doing, get good at that, and then branch out. And then eventually you might be able to do that other thing.
Absolutely.
Lots of voices that I couldn't do at the beginning that I eventually over time could do because I unlocked knowing how to do other voices, you know?
Yeah.
It's something like that, kind of the similar thought process, I guess.
Okay. And then the final buckle up moment, Nigel, for anyone out there who feels like their voice doesn't matter, what would you say to them right now?
It definitely does. Use your voice if you have it, you know, speak about what you want to speak about. Don't listen to what other people try to tell you. Social media is a bad landscape for opinions. I'll say that. Social media is not a good place for opinions. However, it's good to have your own opinions and be yourself.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, just more importantly, listening to yourself and those around you that aren't just people online is the big takeaway for that. Listening to level-headed people mostly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nigel, I'm gonna say on my end before I give it over to Mom. One, man, you've been phenomenal, brother. And I wish you all the continued best in your career. I know wherever you set your mind to, you can get there as long as you keep working hard. And then the second thing is, how can people find you on social media, any channels, anything you want to throw out? Just let me know what it is.
I go by PotentFrog on everything. POTENTFROG. PotentFrog on pretty much everything. Or just my name, Nigel King. If I Facebook, I use my regular profile, my Nigel King profile, but everything else is PotentFrog for the most part. So you'll find me.
All
right, that sounds good, man. And then, Mom,
Nigel, I must say we have thoroughly enjoyed having you on the show today.
Thank you.
And your voice is so powerful, and the gift that God has given you, the ability to change that voice at any point in time, is most amazing to me. I'm always amazed about mankind, humankind. I'm always amazed by the talents that have been brought to our show, and that the impact is now going to continue to make, and the growth it makes across all the world that it is now doing. And you being our guest, that continues to make that growth happen. And I wanted to thank you so much, because it's time you could be someplace else, but you chose to be on the Buckle Up podcast universe today.
That's right.
And thank you so much.
Absolutely, Nigel. Thank you so much, brother. Nigel, just send me the photo you want, man, and I'll make sure to post that. You're more than welcome, man. You're welcome back anytime, brother.
Thank you, guys. It means a lot to me for having me on. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Send me all your stuff so I can, when it goes up, I can share it and let my followers know too, you know.
I absolutely will, brother. All right, man. Take care, man. Take care.
Thank you. You guys as well.
Bye-bye. Oh, Brad, we forgot. Wait, hold up.
Oh, yeah. Nigel, at the end, we always give everybody a good job, brother.
Pat on the back there.
Yeah, hey, take it, man.
Clap for you guys as well.
Absolutely. Take care, brother.
Take care.
All right,
let's see. Excellent, friend.
He really was, Mom.
Outstanding.
Absolutely excellent.